emergency clause, which will be taken into effect immediately. And also the communications piece, right? So the communication that our public agency is sending to the public, as it has been before this case ever appeared, and to kind of reinforce what is our policy with fair enforcement. So I think for me, I will push back. I don't think the timing of this ordinance to do what we need to do to communicate to the public is needed to be voted on today. I think there is public communication that Trimet can send out around what are we doing as an agency. We're going to continue to collect fares. If people have questions around the constitutionality of that, you know, we could say we are in a court case right now. We are in a legal case where, you know, we are still trying to figure that out. But in the meantime, we are still going to collect fares. And so I just don't know if. And so that's one. And then the second thing is, again, really back to that community engagement piece. There are lots of voices that are not here today, that are not a part of this conversation around the ordinance and the emergency clause. And I feel like this ordinance is just, it's a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid to a wound that has been festering in many low-income communities, many communities of color. I grew up in East Portland. I grew up in kind of this area of town, and I have seen a lot of different incidences riding on the Max, you know, growing up here, where people of color have been stopped and asked compared to, you know, other people who aren't minorities. So I know that those voices are missing from this, and if we want to be a transformative agency and not an agency that just keeps reacting to things, I think we need to have difficult conversations around policing, around profiling, around fair enforcement. And I know that change is not going to happen overnight, but I don't want to just put a Band-Aid on something that we know has been a problem in the community for decades, for generations, and just say, hey, we as a board, you know, we did something right here, good for us, this is going to take into effect immediately, without reaching out to community again, without, again, getting TIAC members to come forward and to come up with what is the right ordinance, right? So that's where I stand. I really applaud the efforts of Trimet over the last couple of years to decriminalize folks who are, you know, not evading fares. But I don't think it's a simple, quick fix as, hey, let's just pass this ordinance and, you know, make sure we protect ourselves as an agency. I think we need to do the public a service, especially, like I said, community members who are the most vulnerable, the most marginalized, who are part of the TIAC committee, to give them fairness in this process to weigh in.